I've been meaning to do this video for a very long time, but I kept procrastinating it because I think I just wasn't ready for the emotions that might come with this video. But today nimesema kama mbaya kama tunalia tutalia sisi wote. And today I just wanted to share with you the 4 feelings that I seriously struggled with after my mom passed away, or during that period that my mom passed away. So let's get to it. Anyone who has lost a loved one or someone who's very dear to them will tell you that there's nothing that prepares you for death. You know, hata kama you are with someone who was in a coma for like 2 months, nothing prepares you for death, right? And losing my mom really scarred me, because it was already bad enough that I lost her. But the worst thing is I saw her dying. Like, I can see she's going. And there's nothing I could do about it. There's nothing the doctors could have done about it. And that dented me, to be honest. But by God's grace, I accepted it, and I just did life, yeah. But today I'm going to share with you the 4 feelings that I really struggled with during that period that she passed away. And also, I think it took a couple of years for me to deal with these particular feelings. And the first one I'm going to talk about is regret. Okay, now my mom had a flu, homa tu ya kawaida, and the way we know homa is itaanza and then it gets worse, and then after a while inaanza kuisha. But with hers it was just getting worse and worse, and I'm like, why? It's been weeks. So I remember the next day I was going to town, and I told her, Mom, I'm going to town tomorrow, tell me what medicine I can get for you, because mi sijuangi medicine, or rather sijuangi dawa. So I asked her, what medicine can I get for you tomorrow? Because, this thing is getting out of hand. And I remember she told me, don't worry about it. I'm just going to take my usual concoction, the ginger, lemon thingy, hot water. And I remember telling her, well, that's what you've been taking. But nothing is happening, right? So that means we need to, do something more. And she was just like, no, don't worry about it. I'm going to be okay. And I said, okay. So the next day when I was going to town, I told her, like, I'm still going to town, just in case you changed your mind. And she's like, no, I'm good. I'm easy. And later that week, that Sunday, I don't remember what day that was when I was going to town, but I know later that week on Sunday, apparently things escalated. And my uncles took her to hospital, and aunt took her to Nairobi hospital, because apparently she woke up that morning and she noticed that as she's coughing, damu inaanza kutoka. So now, eventually she came back she came back from hospital, and that night, things just went from 0 to 50 to 100 real quick. I didn't even have time to process. But the reason why I regretted so much after she passed away was, I was like, should I have pushed her more? Should I have insisted on, her getting meds or her seeking medical attention? So I felt so much regret, because I was like, niliuliza tu once, niliuliza tu twice. Maybe I should have been persistent. Maybe I should have insisted more. And for a while I was like, if I persisted, maybe I should have gone to hospital earlier, as opposed to now that Sunday, which seemed like it was too late for her. And let me tell you, hey, you guys know how horrible it feels to start regretting not having done something, or regretting doing something that you're not supposed to do, So that is one of the feelings that really took a toll on me, and I just couldn't wrap my head around the fact that I knew this homa is not kawaida, and I insisted, and I told you, I'm going to town tomorrow, tell me what medicine to get you, and you just never listened. So I felt regret that I didn't push her harder. I felt regret that I wasn't persistent enough. The other feeling that I had to really struggle getting over was the feeling of guilt. Okay, now that particular Sunday evening, I remember my mom started coughing unusually. And so when I went to check on her downstairs, I found her in the guest bathroom, so to say. And let me tell you, I had never seen my mom in such a situation. I had never seen my mom weak. Like, mwili iko weak. I'd seen her tired, I'd seen her like worn out because of work, but weak? So I found her there, she's leaning on the sink. No, she was leaning on the wall. Ameshikilia sink na mikono. And all I can see is blood coming out of her mouth. Like, she's coughing and coughing blood. And then I'm looking at the sink, ime flood. In that particular moment, I think my body could not process what was happening, and I froze. And I'm not talking about metaphorically. I mean, I literally froze. And nimesimama, I can see my mom. I know I need to do something. I know I need to make calls. I need to, like, I don't know, get the car started. Like, I knew I need to do something, but my body was not moving. Like, the only thing that was moving was, you see the way my face is moving. And I'm just looking at my mom. I'm like, I want to do something. I really do. But my body is not moving. Like, I'm trying to move my arm, move my leg, nothing is moving. And then eventually when I came out of it, I remember I called my uncle, I ran to my neighbors, and I was like, you know what, I can't even drive in this state because I don't want to now haribu maneno. After she passed away that night, I think that's the one emotion that overwhelmed me, because I was like, I shouldn't have frozen. I shouldn't have frozen. Like, my body should have been functional the whole time. And let me tell you, I blamed myself for going into shock, and it took me years to understand that, you know what, sometimes our bodies don't have the capacity to process some of the things that we see. It's normal for your body to go into shock. It's okay for you to not be able to operate normally under such a circumstance. And I was even scared to tell people the details of what really transpired that night, because I didn't want people to see me as a bad person for freezing. Feeling ya tatu ambayo nilistruggle nayo sana was disbelief and acceptance. I had a very hard time accepting that my mom is actually gone, because explain to me how I started my day with my mom in the house, and then I'm coming to that house later that evening without her because nimemwacha kwa morgue, lifeless. Alafu kitu ambayo kunimikia sense ni, that particular evening, she seemed to be in a very good mood, and she seemed like she was feeling better. Yeah, I can't remember if she made dinner, but I know she made tea for, you know, my uncles and I, and now herself, and we had a good time. We were laughing, cracking jokes, and alikuwa nazicrack. She looked very alive, like very okay. And I remember thinking to myself, whatever Nairobi Hospital did, yes, they better keep at it. And then after my uncles left, I'm calling them within like 20 minutes or less to tell them, whoa, things have taken a dramatic turn, and my mom is weak, turning pale, and she's throwing up, or rather coughing out a lot of blood, and you just need to do a turnaround and come back home. How am I running to my neighbors to tell them, Missy drive sahi, help me rush my mom to the hospital? How are we now getting to the hospital? 1, 2, 3 things, and then the doctor is like, we did the best we could. All of this within an hour. How? I didn't wake up that Sunday knowing that I'm going to lose my mom. I didn't wake up that Sunday knowing that that would be the day I go to sleep without a mom. And I remember I kept telling myself, labda amesafiri, you know, because my mom used to travel a lot. And I just kept comforting myself and saying, I may travel. She's not like gone. But you know, when you start entertaining such thoughts, the healing process is longer and there's more damage, you know. But eventually, I think I just ripped off the band-aid on myself, and I was like, she's gone. Finally, munasamanga best for last, yeah? So I saved this one to be the last point. Anger. Let me tell you, I was angry. I'd be lying to you if I told you I was not angry at God, because you see, my mom passed away on the 4th of January 2015. All right, people are still in that New Year mood, and can you imagine when people are receiving Happy New Year, I'm receiving my condolences, so sorry for your loss, oh I'm so sorry, I'm heavy. Yo, why? Mi nilikuwa nimekasirika na Mungu. And then, so that's one, the timing. I'm like, why would you take her when the year is just starting? Number 2, why would you take her knowing that she's my only parent? Like, I never questioned God. Let me be clear. I didn't ask him, why would you do this? I was just low-key angry, and I was just keeping it to myself because I didn't want to be punished kama kina Moses. So, deep down in my heart, I was like, Aki God, why would you do this? So I was low-key angry at God. I was angry at my mom, number 2, because again, when I told you to, seek medical help, when I kept insisting, you need dawa, nitume dawa, nenda town nitachukua, why did you listen? You know, even when I showed concern that this Homa is just out of this world, like, why didn't you listen? Why didn't you actually say, okay, you know what, my daughter is persisting that I get meds, let me let me do that. You know, I was kidogo angry at my mom because I was like, sasa uno umeniacha na nani, you know. I was also angry at myself because I was like, why would you freeze when your mom needs you the most? I was also angry because I didn't push my mom enough. I was angry because I felt like I didn't rush her to hospital enough. I was angry because I felt like I wasn't angry at the doctors enough to make them want to do more and potentially save my mom's life. Me, I was angry. I always say that God's grace is sufficient. And I don't say that because I'm a Christian and it's what I'm expected to say. It's because when I look back at what 2015 was like for me and where I am right now, the grace has been sufficient. Because one of the things I was worried about was dropping out of school, not dropping out of school, but having to be asked to drop out of campus, because I remember I'd only done one semester in Daystar na nikajua hapa family watanikalisha waniambia hii pesa ya Daystar hatuwezi, so you either stop going to school and get a job ama you look for a cheaper option, you know. And the fact that my family was very supportive, the fact that they came together and they told me, you know what, we got you. And they showed me everything that had my mom's name on it. They told me that they were all willing to accommodate me and take me in. And, you know, it was just me to choose nataka kukaa na nani. They have been so supportive. And I am so glad that my story didn't turn out to be ugly. You know, I didn't end up on the streets because I have selfish relatives, aunties and uncles, you know. That in itself is a testimony that my family had my back, and I was not entitled to it. Remember, as much as I lost a mom, they had lost a sister. Some had lost a cousin, you know. And for my grandmother, she had lost a daughter. So they could have also decided, we're also grieving, so we're just not, you know. But they came through for me. The support was just amazing. Sometimes the love and support that you get from the people around you goes a long way, regardless of how well you're handling the death. It really goes a long way. Until date, my family is very supportive. They have my back, and so do my friends. And that is something I will forever be grateful for. And I'll forever be grateful to God because He has been my mom, He has been my dad, He has watched over me. Some of you have seen my my story unfold, how doors just opened for me in media and different platforms that I didn't even think I was cut out for. So yeah, losing my mom was painful, but there have been testimonies here and there that came out of it. Na kwa sababu nimeongea sana, let me stop there. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you for sticking through the video. I will do my best to remain consistent on YouTube, but in the meantime, you can hit that subscribe button, and you can also follow me on my socials. Sorry, that is Susan Grace _KE kila mahali. All right, I will see you in my next video. Much love.